This is the Helicopter Flying Handbook. This is Chapter 14, Pilot Self-Assessment. That's on page 6 of 18. The pick of an aircraft is directly responsible for and is the final authority for the operation of the aircraft. The list of pick responsibilities is long and nothing should be overlooked. To exercise those responsibilities effectively and make effective decisions regarding the outcome of a flight, a pilot must have an understanding of personal limitations. Pilot performance from planning the flight of execution of the flight is affected by many factors such as health, experience, knowledge, skill level, and attitude. Exercising good judgment begins prior to taking the controls of an aircraft. Often pilots thoroughly check their aircraft to determine airworthiness, yet do not evaluate their own fitness for flight. Just as a checklist is used when pre-flight an aircraft, a personal checklist based on such factors as experience, currency, and comfort level can help determine if a pilot is prepared for a particular flight. Specifying when refresher training should be accomplished and designing weather minimums, which may be higher than those listed in Title 14 of the Code of Federal Regulations, 14 CFR, Part 91, are elements that may be included on a personal checklist. Overconfidence can kill just as fast as inexperience. In addition to a review of personal limitations, a pilot should use the I'm Safe checklist to further evaluate fitness for flight. I'm Safe checklist. Illness. Do I have any symptoms? Medication. Have I been taking prescription or over-the-counter drugs? Stress. Am I under psychological pressure from the job? Worried about financial matters, health problems, or family discord? Alcohol. Have I been drinking in within the 8 hours or within 24 hours? Fatigue. Am I tired and not adequately rested? Emotion. Am I angry, depressed, or anxious? All right. I don't know. So, curiosity. Health or harmful? Healthy or harmful? The roots of aviation are firmly based on curiosity. Where would we be today had it not been for the dreams of Leonardo da Vinci, the Wright brothers, or Igor Sikorsky? They all were infatuated with flight and curiosity that led to the origins of aviation. The tale of aviation is full of firsts. First flight, first helicopter, first transatlantic flight, and so on. But along the way, there were many setbacks, fatalities, and lessons learned. Today, we continue to learn and investigate the limits of aviation. We've been to the moon and soon beyond. Our curiosity will continue to drive us to search for the next challenge. However, our curiosity can also have catastrophic consequences. Despite over 100 years of aviation practice, we still see accidents that are caused by impaired judgment formed from curious behavior. Pilots commonly seek to determine the limits of their ability as well as the limits of their aircraft. Unfortunately, too often this leads to mishaps with deadly results. Inquisitive behavior must be harnessed and displayed within personal material limits. Deadly curiosity may not seem as obvious to some as it is to others. Simply thoughts such as, is visibility really as bad as what the ATIS is reporting, the ATIS? Or will the 20-minute fuel light really indicate only 20 minutes worth of fuel? Can lead to poor decisions and disastrous outcome. Some aviators blatantly violate rules and aircraft limitations without thinking through the consequences. What indications and change in flight characteristics will I see if I fly this helicopter above its maximum gross weight? Or I've heard the helicopter can do aerobatic flight. Why is it prohibited? Are examples of extremely harmful curiosity. Even more astounding is their ignoring to the fact that the damage potentially done to aircraft will probably manifest later in the aircraft's life, affecting other crews. Spontaneous excursions in aviation can be deadly. Curiosity is natural and promotes learning. Airmen should abide by established procedures until proper and complete hazard assessment and risk management can be completed. The Paved Checklist. The Paved Checklist, as found in the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, the FAA has designed a personal minimums checklist to help pilots with self-assessment, which in turn helps mitigate risk. The acronym PAVE, P-A-V-E, divides the risk of the flights into 4 categories. For each category, think of the applicability specific to helicopter operations. So, PAVE, pilot in command. Physical, emotional readiness, flight experience, recency, currency, total time and type. The aircraft. Is a helicopter capable of performing the task? Can it carry the necessary fuel? Does it provide adequate power margins for the task to be accomplished? Can it carry the weight and remain within center of gravity? Will there be external loads? environment. Helicopters are susceptible to the impact of changing weather conditions. How will the change in moderating temperatures and DA affect performance? Will controllability be jeopardized by winds, terrains, or turbulence? And then external passengers. Do not let the notion to accomplish the mission override good judgment and safety. Many jobs includes timelines. How often do we hear time is money or time is wasting? Don't sacrifice safety for an implied or actual need to meet the deadline. Do not allow yourself to feel pressured by coworkers, family events, or friends. Incorporated into the pre-flight planning, the Paved Checklist provides the pilot with a sample way to remember each category to examine for risk prior to each flight. Once the pilot identifies the risk of the flight, he or she needs to decide whether the risk or combination of risks can be managed safely and successfully. Remember, the pick is responsible for deciding about canceling the flight. If the pilot decides to continue with the flight, he or she should develop strategies to mitigate the risk. One way to control risk is by setting personal minimums for items in each risk category. Remember, these are limits unique to the individual pilot's currency level of experience and proficiency. They should be reevaluated periodically based upon experience and proficiency. All right, we're going to hold off right there. Page 7 of 18. That was the pilot self-assessment. Page 7 of 18, chapter 14.